Spring has sprung, as have my allergies. I'm your stuffy McGuffey host, Andrew, and this is Crypto Espresso, your teeny tiny daily shot of caffeinated crypto headlines. I sacrifice breathing through my nose to you, nature. First up, after weeks of vigorous back and forth, Bitcoin has finally pierced the stubborn resistance above $30,000. The world's biggest cryptocurrency is now at its highest price point since last June. A bigger question now, though, is whether Bitcoin will manage to remain above this crucial level. The US will be releasing long-awaited inflation data later this week, which could determine the future direction of travel. Analysts are looking for signs that the consumer price index is beginning to cool, as this would prompt the Federal Reserve to ease their campaign of aggressive interest rate hikes. Ether is also showing signs of momentum ahead of the long-awaited Shapella upgrade tomorrow, which will allow stakers to finally withdraw their ETH. Well, FTX's new management has released a blistering new report that delves into the failures leading up to the exchange's bankruptcy. Here's a quick bullet point list of 10 of the key takeaways. Hubris, incompetence, and greed are cited as some of the root causes that led to FTX collapsing as swiftly as it had grown. Sam Bankman-Fried, Gary Wang, and Nishad Singh controlled almost every aspect of FTX, despite the fact that they were fresh out of college and had little experience in risk management and running a business. One executive stated that if Nishad had gotten hit by a bus, the company would be done, highlighting the concentration of power. Other executives who tried to raise concerns saw their bonuses slashed, and they were ordered to apologize to SBF, but they refused to do so. QuickBooks was used for much of FTX's record keeping, which meant that it was impossible for the exchange to keep accurate financial records. In internal messages, SBF described Alameda Research as unauditable, writing, "We sometimes find $50 million of assets lying around that we lost track of. Such is life." So relatable, SBF. Expenses and invoices were regularly submitted on Slack and were approved using emojis. Neither Singh nor Wang had the training or experience to handle FTX's cybersecurity needs, and the company didn't even have a chief information security officer or anyone with the skills to fulfill the responsibilities of such a role. Virtually all crypto assets were kept in hot wallets which were connected to the internet, meaning they were far more susceptible for hacking, theft, misappropriation, and inadvertent loss, and yes, we did see a hack take place on the day of the bankruptcy. And bullet point number 10, further illustrating the haphazard way in which crypto was stored, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto recovered wasn't even reflected on any of FTX's record-keeping systems. Oh, SBF, you were right. $50 million here, $50 million there. And finally, the New York Times has released a new report that delves into the impact of Bitcoin mining, and as you'd expect, reaction on crypto Twitter has been far from welcoming. The newspaper's been accused of overlooking key facts when it comes to scrutinizing the blockchain's energy use and making basic errors. Its report claims that miners are putting immense pressure on the power grid, generating higher electricity bills and enormous carbon pollution. But Bitcoiners insist that the publication has overlooked all of the facilities that use a high mix of energy from sustainable sources. Riot, one of the companies highlighted in the report, alleges that the article was published with information that the authors knew to be false and misleading. And speaking of false and misleading, some news organizations out there might tell you not to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on that little bell icon to get buzzed whenever a new Crypto Espresso video goes live. But that's just straight up fake news, don't listen to them. And what did you think about today's episode? Well, drop us a line in those comments below because I read them and I take feedback way too seriously. I lose sleep over those comments sometimes. It's definitely something I should discuss with my therapist. Questions about our headlines or crypto in general? Why not take the plunge and ask Alex in that description below? Alex is always a great resource for all things Web3 and the metaverse, and that about does it for today. As always, I've been your host, Andrew. These have been your headlines, and we'll see all of your beautiful shining faces tomorrow.